Good day, kids! Here we are again with another episode of our Math 6 learnings. Today, we will discuss about subtracting fractions. I am your teacher, James Christian Urbeo, and I hope you would listen attentively with the discussions I have prepared for you. So sit back, relax, and enjoy learning. We are expected to learn in subtracting simple fractions and mixed numbers with or without regrouping. In this lesson, you will learn how to subtract similar fractions, dissimilar fractions, and mixed numbers. But before we start, let us try to remember adding fractions. With our question in number 1, 1/5 plus 3/5 is equal to 4/5. Number 2, 2/12 plus 4/12 is equal to 6/12. Reducing in its lowest term is 1/2. Number 3, 3/9 plus 7/9 is equal to 10/9, or converting it with a mixed number, it's 1 and 1/9. And number 4, 1 and 1/7 plus 2 and 3/7 is equal to 3 and 4/7. Very good! Remember that in subtracting similar fractions, if the fractions to be subtracted have the same denominator, simply subtract the numerators and copy the common denominator. If possible, reduce your answer to the lowest term. Moving on our screen are sample problems in subtracting similar fractions. Number 1. 11/15 minus 3/15. Copy the common denominator of 15 and then subtract the numerators. 11 minus 3. It is equal to 8. So our answer in number 1 is equal to 8/15. Number 2. 9/16 minus 15/16. Copy the common denominator of 16 and then subtract its numerators of 9 minus 5. So our answer is equal to 4/16. Now check if we can reduce it to the lowest term. The common number of 4 and 16 is 4. So, reducing to its lowest term, our final answer must be 1/4. Number 3. 6 and 7/11 minus 4 and 2/11. We shall copy the whole numbers. 6 minus 4 is equal to 2. And then copy the common denominator of 11 and then subtract the numerators of 7 minus 2. So our final answer would have been 2 and 5/11. Very good! Excellent! Now let's have a recap in the steps in subtracting similar fractions. First, we must subtract the numerators. Second, copy the common denominator. Number 3, and if possible, reduce our answer to the lowest term. Now, moving on, we shall now study in subtracting dissimilar fractions. In subtracting dissimilar fractions, fractions are almost the same with subtracting similar fractions. The only difference is that, at first, you need to change the dissimilar fractions to similar fractions using equivalent fractions. Consider the sample problem on our screen. 7 over 8 minus 15 over 16. Now, we shall be solving this using equivalent fractions. Getting the equivalent fractions of 7 over 8 and 15 over 16 is 14 over 16 and 5 over 16 respectively. Now, using equivalent fractions, instead of using 7 over 8, we shall be using 14 over 16 because it is equivalent to 7 over 8. And then we have 14 over 16 minus 5 over 16. So, solving for our answer, we are going to subtract the numerator of 14 minus 5, it's equal to 9, and then copy the common denominator of 16. So our final answer would have been 9 over 16. Now, let us consider solving the previous problem using LCD or least common denominator. 7 over 8 minus 5 over 16 is equal to. Now, solving for the LCD of these denominators, it will give us 16. 16 is the LCD to be used. Now proceed with solving the problem using LCD. 7 over 8 minus 15 over 16 is equal to, you just need to copy the LCD of 16 and then 16 divided by the first term's denominator of 8, it will give us 2, and then 2 multiplied it to the numerator in the first term of 7, 2 times 7 is equal to 14. And then the LCD divided by the second term's denominator of 16 will give us 1, and then 1 times the numerator's first term of 5, 1 times 5 is equal to 5, and then expanding, 14 minus 5 is equal to 9. So, our final answer would have been 9 over 16. It's the same using similar fractions. Okay, let's have a recap. Steps in subtracting the similar fractions. First, find the least common denominator, or the LCD. Second, change the fractions to similar fractions using the LCD. Third, subtract the numerators and write the results over the LCD. If necessary, reduce the answer to its lowest term. When the sum is an improper fraction, change it to a mixed number. We shall now move on in subtracting mixed numbers. Subtracting mixed numbers can look challenging at first, but making a few simple conversions will make it easy. Once you can identify parts of a mixed number, decide if you want to convert the mixed number into improper fractions or if you want to subtract the whole numbers and fractions separately. Make the denominators of the fractions the same and then subtract the numerators, because mixed numbers are also improper fractions. To explain this further, in the next problem, we shall solve it by two methods. Consider our problem on the screen, 3 3/4 minus 1 1/2. In method number 1, we shall be subtracting the whole number and the fraction separately. Considering the fraction, the first term 3/4 and the second term 1/2. the denominator's LCD will have to be 4. So, solving for the problem, we should have just to subtract the whole number separately. 3 minus 1, the whole number would have to be 2. And then, subtract separately the fractions of 3/4 minus 1/2. We have known the LCD of 4, so this LCD divided by the first term's denominator of 4, 4 divided by 4 is 1, and then multiply 1 to the first term's numerator of 3. It will give us 3. And then 4, the LCD of 4 divided by the second term's denominator of 2, 4 divided by 2 would have to be 2. And then 2, we have to multiply it to the second term's numerator of 1. 2 times 1 would give us 2. So, treating the improper fractions, 3/4 minus 2/4 will give us 1/4. So our final answer would have been 2 1/4. In method number 2, we shall be converting this mixed number into an improper fraction. So considering our previous equation of 3 3/4 minus 1 1/2, we shall convert these mixed numbers into an improper fraction. So converting the mixed number of the first term of 3 3/4, it would have been the denominator of 4 times the whole number of 3 plus the numerator of 3, it will give us 15. And then copy the denominator of 4. So the improper fraction of the mixed number of 3 3/4 is 15/4. Same goes to our second term of 1 1/2. Converting it to an improper fraction, it will give us the denominator of 2 times the whole number of 1 plus the numerator of 1, it will give us a numerator of 3. And then just copy the denominator of 2. So having the improper fraction for our mixed number of 1 1/2, it would give us 3/2. Now, we have now converted this mixed number into an improper fraction of 15/4 minus 3/2. The next step, we shall now get the LCD of these two denominators of 4 and 2. The LCD of 4 and 2 would have to be 4. And now, moving on, using this LCD of 4, we shall now proceed in solving our equation. 15/4 minus 3/2 is equal to, just copy the LCD of 4, and then this 4 divided to the first term's denominator of 4 is 1, and then 1 times the numerator of 15 is equal to 15. And then for the second term, the LCD of 4 divided to the denominator second term of 2 is equal to 2 times to the second term's numerator of 3 is equal to 6. So, simplifying, 15/4 minus 6/4 would give us an answer of 9/4. Now, we just need to convert this improper fraction to a mixed number. Okay, so converting this improper fraction to a mixed number, 9 divided by 4 would give us 2 and a remainder of 1. So, 2 and 1, just copy the denominator of 4. It will give us the answer of 2 1/4. Same as our first method. Now, let's have a recap in the steps in subtracting mixed numbers. First, make sure that the bottom numbers are the denominators are the same. Second, subtract the top numbers or the numerators and the whole number if there is any. And lastly, number 3, simplify the fraction if needed. Thank you for watching. I hope you've learned a lot today. Don't forget to subscribe James Urbeo for more educational videos. Till the next upload. Bye-bye!